Good evening, everyone, through the chair. This was the signage was always tasked as being the kind of the entry and the feature to try and complete in advance of the rest of the project. If you recall, the remaining of the project is still some significant work with the drain enclosure, redoing the drain, the streetscape components as well. Significant coordination and multi-year development. The sign itself, as the mayor alluded to, is very complex. It's a unique sign. We've had a lot of challenges with utilities, coordination with MDOT, and Wayne County. We're still continuing to work with MDOT. We have a meeting actually with them on Thursday. We have a small area with storm sewer that we're trying to work through with them as well to have that finalized. The sign they're comfortable with. We have a few other minor items that we're working through as well with them. The design was completed. It was originally out for bid, and there was an extension request from many of the bidders asking for additional time to review the bids because of the complexity. So we delayed that till August 5th when the bids were received. With the bid package, we did not want to rush into any type of recommendation of award at the August TIFA meeting. Hence the reason for delaying it to this meeting this evening. During this last month, we requested a schedule of values from the contractor. We requested a schedule from them. We reviewed that because this was bid as a lump sum item. So we wanted a little bit more detail as to what was behind their bid. We also had a meeting with them to review that schedule of values, and we conducted a value engineering as well, to see if there were any components where we might realize some type of a cost savings because of the uniqueness of it. We did work during the design with a fabricator, trying to understand the complexities that may affect the pricing with it too. The bids did come in significantly higher than anticipated, and so that's what we're tasked with now in reviewing that. It is small, but it is a small thing to note with the potential that came out of the value engineering of $25,000. I know in the grand scheme of $1 million plus project, it's kind of small amount, but it is something that could be attributed towards it as well, and that could be completed through a change order with the contractor immediately. A couple of other things just to consider too in considering award of this. Should the agreement with Wayne County, the IGA that was authorized to be signed at the last meeting, from TIFA's perspective, if that's approved by Wayne County in the near future, we can immediately request approximately $400,000 as cash flow to be injected back into TIFA. That's an approximate number, but that could occur immediately, and that lines with the completed signal work that's occurred out in the west end. We also have the entire project has always been geared towards a full budget of approximately $17 million. Because we're still in design, we're looking to be tasked with reducing some of the streetscape components in conjunction with the city's discussions and approvals to make up for some of this difference in cost that we didn't anticipate with the sign. So that's something that we're going to be tasked with as well. I think those were some of the key points I wanted to make. It is a 60-day bid hold period, so that was August 5th, I believe. So they are tasked with holding that number until beginning of October. And pricing, contractors are busy right now. We're seeing prices, not just through city projects and township projects, but I think even our own type of home improvements and things we've seen. I know I'm trying to build a deck right now. My price is double what it was about 4 or 5 months ago because of rising costs. And just contractors are busy, so they're demanding higher pricing. Just to give a broad depth of what to take into potential consideration here. If there's any other questions, I can certainly try and respond to it.
Is there any questions for Kelly? Mr. Todd.
My problem right off the bat is spending $1.2 million, and I'm sorry, but what you brought us is almost impossible to see what it actually is. So, you see everything pictures?
I had included schematics. I don't know if they were included in your bid package or not.
Yeah, they're about this big.
Just the, oh, okay.
We can pass that around and let everybody look at that. Mr. Todd, any other questions while you're looking at that? No?
Not at least how I look at it.
Mr. Prey?
I just want to ask a couple of questions that we usually ask about landscaping. It's the landscaping that's shown in the pictures that are agreeable, that they're kind of small. But I think I've seen the bigger pictures before. That all the landscaping is included?
Yes, yes.
And is it also going to have irrigation? And we've addressed all of those usual concerns about there's nobody assigned to take care of this stuff.
No, the base bid includes irrigation, the electrical, all of the running the electrical across bores through Telegraph Road, through Wayne County, Eureka Corridor. Irrigation is included. It's a complete package. All the foundation work, the landscaping, everything.
What, if I may follow up one more, on the drawings, on the night view of that, these cables are actually going to light up, the ones that are, is that accurate?
That is what's proposed, yes.
Pretty cool.
It is a unique design. We wanted Eureka Way to stand out, have its own kind of design element, and hopefully that's what we've achieved with working with the city as well.
You actually took from the elements of the Blue Bridge,
Yes.
which before.
So, I'm sorry. This is actually two signs. It's the Telegraph one and
Correct.
the Allen Road one?
Yes, on Telegraph, there's one on each side, the north side and the south side, so as you're coming along Eureka, you're basically coming through a bridge. And then, yes, the third sign essentially is on Eureka, just west of Allen Road within the median.
Mr. Filo?
I appreciate that you and the mayor have both been, upfront about the extra cost. And you mentioned that you're looking at the streetscape items that you might be able to eliminate to make up this cost. Would you have a sense of right now what those types of things might be?
There might be a component, there was a little bit of a lookout onto the Frankenpoet drain within one small area. That might be an area that we could cut back because it's a little bit more aesthetically, we want to look at functionality, of course. But that was the first one that came to my mind earlier. Can always look at...
Nothing of super importance?
No, it would still, we want to adhere to the, the conceptual feeling and sense of the Eureka Way. We don't want to compromise that.
Did you,
Mr. Todd?
Did you say that there was a chance of part of this being a reimbursement from the county?
No, this sign is not Act 51 eligible.
Okay, that's not part of that.
No.
I was wondering about.
But the overall project, so in its entirety, 50% of the 17 million is. So when
Right.
we're also looking at potentially changing some of that streetscape, we need to keep in mind that we want to keep that 50%. We don't want to lose that match at all. So we want to make sure those elements are Act 51 eligible if we do the adjustments.
What she was referring to is we've already expended some money on other things, and once the IGA gets approved by the county, we can get reimbursed for some of those other expenses that we've already spent money on. So that was
Exactly.
what she was
I
referring to.
apologize for confusion there. The example was the street lights on the west end that were installed already. That is a reimbursable. A certain percentage of that is immediately reimbursable as soon as the IGA is executed.
Any other comments or questions? If not, I've got a few, Kelly. What was the original estimate of the sign?
From our
What did we have in our budget for the estimate for that?
The city, I believe in the TIFA's estimate was approximately 900,000, and the mayor can speak to that. I can speak to the exhibit.
Correct, Mr. Chairman, the current TIFA budget had 900,000 as a placeholder for the sign package for the gateway sign. As in terms of the, I don't know if Kelly can speak to like a high-level engineer's estimate. I suspect that it probably somewhat aligned with that, but that was the number that we put in there was 900,000.
And Kelly, could you give us an update as to what is the current schedule for the other improvements?
Absolutely. Based on the exhibit C of the IGA, and that was the schedule, we are hoping to have a complete bid package by the end of the year, but right now that is going to be based on permitting. We have to, there an EGLE permit, we have MDOT, we have Wayne County and such, so those are what we're working against. The hope is to bring a bid award the beginning of next year. Right now we're looking at about February, with construction anticipated next spring. We're anticipating that to be with the enclosure of the drain next year is our hope.